let you ride it with me.
Yeah, today we're going to go through a song that we just released a couple months ago called Eyes on Me. It basically samples Shorty by Donald Jones. Does anybody know Donald Jones? R&B guy, classic. Yeah, we got one in the building. But yeah, it was one of my favorite like R&B albums. And I was just at home one day thinking about like trying to find some inspiration, and was listening to this song and I was like, this vocal would be sick to flip in some way, shape or form. While listening to R&B, I was actually listening to some old school Snoop Dogg. Everybody know Gin and Juice? I was listening to this tune and I was like, I love the leads, the West Coast famous leads that Dr. Dre always put in all his tunes back in the 90s. And I was like, I'd love to just do something with that. And I had the Donald Jones vocal, I ripped it off the internet and started working on something. And yeah, so this is like the original bones of the track. It is a drum and bass tune, and we'll play it in a second. But it kind of started out as a kind of like a fast, rappy drill song. Here's the lead.
Watching you move, I start to fantasize about the way you put it on the last night. So come on and ride shotgun. I got the bubbles that feel like we can pop some. I see me and you, lost in my coupe. Maybe we can feel like the roof and get it on. And I say your body plays from. I like a little thing around your navel, baby.
So I'm not sure if you could hear that lead in there. Let's hear this. It's just a massive sound. Side-chained it with this LFO tool. Like a simple square oscillator with loads of reverb on it. And then I had this bass. Another massive sound. It's a preset I had. I think that those two bits there are like the bones of the tune. And then obviously, as you heard, I added a pad in there. Very simple. And then I think the bass line changed at this point here, just so it felt like we were building. So here's that trumpet in there was a nice touch. Got that from good old Splice. So this is the original loop of that. So yeah, just chopped it up, pitched it, distorted.
Good old sound shifter.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, just up two semitones and distorted it and that was the idea. Obviously, as you can hear, it's got like a drill drum pattern on it at the moment.
Watching you move, I start to fantasize about the way you put it on the last night.
At the time, we'd released a few drill songs, and I was like, I want to do something different. How can we make this feel fresh? How can we flip it, make it feel a bit more interesting? And also, it was a bit too fast for drill, because currently this is 84 BPM, so double that would be what? 1.6. Where's my mathematicians? 168. So yeah, it would be too fast for drill anyway.
What's the speed of drill then?
Drill was usually between 140 to about 150. So when we were like, yeah, let's do something different. So we just like, okay, what genres work at 168? It was like, why don't we try jungle, drum and bass type of thing? and we took the tune in that direction.
There's two genres you could have chosen: happy hardcore or drum and bass. There, you
yeah,
didn't go the happy hardcore.
Yeah, we weren't going to go happy hardcore.
Okay.
So we went drum and bass. Who uses Logic here? Okay, and we've got Ableton users.
Yeah, the rest is Ableton.
yeah. And FL. Yeah. And anything else? Pro Tools. Yeah. Okay. Yes. So this is the actual file for the track. Drums. We start there. Simply just kick. So we sped the tune up as well at this point. So we went from 168 to 174. I don't know if anybody's heard the song, so let me play it.
Watching you move, I start to fantasize about the way I'm gonna put it on that ass tonight. So come on and ride shotgun. I got the bubbles, if you like it, we can pop some. I see me and you flossing in my coupe. Baby, we can peel back the roof and get it on. Did I say your body plays for? I like the little thing around your navel, baby. It's 1:15, girl, what's it gonna be? Shorty got eyes on me. We've been talking since 2, girl, what you gonna do? Tell them that you're riding with me. It's 1:15, girl, what's it gonna be? Shorty got eyes on me. We've been talking since 2, girl, what you gonna do? Tell them that you're riding with me. It's 1:15, girl. What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be, girl? Yeah. Shorty got eyes on me. It's 1:15, girl. What's it gonna be? We've been talking since 2, girl. What you gonna do? Tell them that you're riding with me, baby. Up in the place, I see you getting down. Can't help it.
So yeah, this is the track. Does it sound very different from the first version? Yeah, I hope so. So obviously the biggest difference is the rhythm section. Kick. It's running through a bus. This is Danny did all this stuff on here.
Yeah, so you guys had the original sketch.
Yeah.
And kind of, I came to your studio for the day and just sort of did. It's kind of like when the demo feels so good and the drums feel so good, like it still wasn't quite right.
Yeah.
But it was like you got two options. You could just mute everything and try and do all the drums from scratch, which I think I might have tried at home. I was like, every time I did it, I ruined the feel of it. I think each layer of drums that you have in here was adding something to it. When you took one little layer away, even if you couldn't quite hear it, it lost something.
Yeah.
So we kind of went down the approach of just sonically reinforcing what was there. So I think looking at this, because we were on James's laptop as well, which didn't have all the plugins that I used. So all the drums went through
This bus.
drum bus, And we got an SSL bus compressor on there, just adding a bit of glue to that. And then a camel fat, or the new camel fat, which is, what's they call this? Fat effects, which is basically camel fat, which is adding some limiting. That was pretty much it, actually, just to level it off, because, this has just added a bit more power to the beats.
We added some transient on the kicks.
Yeah, and then that was, I just added a bit more of the knock to the, to the drums, basically.
So I'll play you the layers so you can hear how they're all working together to create the final drum sound. So we had the kick, this snare, then we had a couple of loops like all put in. So So essentially you can see how they're all working together. So yeah, when we played this to Danny was like, I don't know what to change, because it sounds good. But so all those little tweaks, like the transients, running it through the bus that he ended up doing, helped really glue.
I think we rolled off some of the bottom end on some of the loops as well. Sometimes that's one of those things, is like, if you have too much kind of bottom end on the loops, it just messes with the feels.
It can muddy up that bottom end.
Clean it up, Mm-hmm.
So you can see like pretty strong cuts there.
Where'd you get a lot of your loops for this? Was it
some stuff that I've already had to like I think these jungle snares here from some old breaks. These were pitched down, so obviously because I've bounced them out a couple of times, they don't have the original plugins on them, but they were pitched down and stuff. I think that's like an Apple Logic loop, and this one is, that might be from Splice, so just from different places. Yeah, I think that's like a bog standard DMB loop, chopped up. So yeah, that was essentially the drums, and then there's like little fills and there's crashes.
There's a wicked drum roll in there. But what's the? Is it kick fill or something?
It's
play the guys that.
Yeah, so that's literally like a rock fill.
I'm gonna nick that.
Yeah,
I'm gonna nick that.
So yeah, and then later on in the song, in the bridge, there is like a more of a jungle type drum pattern, which was like. And it had some rides softly over the top of it. That was just really to just switch the vibe up slightly, just for the bridge to keep it a bit of difference. So drums weren't pounding, they're just more filtered. And then to the bass, the most important part was change from the original to this version was the re-space, which were made in massive, which is literally this sign, these two signs, and they're just like detuned, one up 29 and one minus 29, which gives it that detuned, so you can hear it here. That's like a staple in D&B, isn't it?
Yeah, it's got like the way the twos, they oscillate and it creates a speed that adds to the rhythm. And on those high notes, you can hear it kind of like being in time. So sometimes you want it to oscillate in time. So when that goes up to the high notes, you don't have to learn that. But yeah, sometimes if it doesn't feel quite right, sometimes it's worth just detuning one of the other ones, just down. If that will slow it down or speed it up, and you can then get it kind of in time from the music.
Okay. So yeah, we had the Reese, and then again there was the aggressor presets, and with some Reese, and then a sub bass underneath it just to give it that bottom. That's a Reese, sorry. So sub here. And that's side chained. So it just feels like it's just breathing with the songs. And all the basses are side chained with the kick, I think, yeah. So running through this bus here, which is side chained to the kick signal. Just so every time the kick punches in, the bass dips a bit and gives some space for the kick. And then, yeah, there's little bits like this like attack bass, just like leads you into. And the last bit was this jungle 808, which comes in on the verses, switches up the vibe from those long held notes. So that's the bass, and then essentially musically we've got all those leads that we have from the original first version, which was just the square synth. So in the bridge we added some chords, these like bell chords. Complements nicely the bass line in the bridge.
Shorty's got it bad and wanna fly with me tonight. So what you gonna do? It's gonna be me and you. You gotta stop.
At this point, I think that's like the meat and potatoes of the song. Oh yeah, there's we have this synth here. It's more of a feeling rather than like really hearing it. So that comes in on the second chorus, just to add a little bit more, I don't know, like amped feeling. That was me. So we made that synth with Massive here, Polysaw 2, with some what's this shaper? This parabolic shaper, sidechained again, put a bit of distortion on it and spread it. I use this a lot just to spread synths and things, give it a nice depth of field. And then from there, it's just, you know, the bells and whistles, the transitions. This is
you got a few Soundclash samples in there as well. Haven't you?
Yeah,
you got to play those.
Okay, so we've got like obviously white noise for transitions, builds. You know, you got all these like dancehall rewind type things just before the drops to give them. You got this. Come now, you know what I mean? And white noise builds.
And the ill blue tag as well. Who did that?
That's me. So that's just me saying ill, blue, and pitched up. So,
oh, really?
Yeah. So that's we've had that from the funky days, but it was more. We used it more in a musical way. So it used to come in every 8 bars, like ill, 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 but it was like low in the mix. But now we've made a thing of it. So it usually comes before the drop or whatever. So everybody knows who we are and.
Ill, blue, blue.
Like tags. I don't know if we've got any producers inside right now or hip hop producers, but it's more of a very big thing in hip hop to have a tag, but I would think nowadays with any music, having some sort of sound that people can recognize as your signature is important, because there's so much music and you're fighting for attention everywhere, and it's helped us a lot because now people go, oh yeah, you're ill blue, and we've got work off the back of that because there's no credits, no one's looking at credits or reading a book how you used to back in the day with liner notes and all that type of stuff. So ill blue tag is very important for us. So yeah, bung that in just before the drop and on the outro sometimes, and more or less that's it. We kept we had this nice little Japanese choir. That's from Arcade. So if anybody uses Arcade, it's cool. There's loads of great stuff on Arcade. And this is like I think a voices, like atmospheric voices pack on there. And it's really easy to use, and it's just nice to add like ear candy when you with your production. So like if you hear how it sounds in the track. Yeah.
There's so many layers in this track. Even how many tracks have you got on this song?
114.
That's not too bad. There's a lot of bounce stuff. How many tracks
there's
do
a lot
you
of
usually
bounce
use?
stuff. It really depends because this track has lots of different layers. Like some of the hip hop stuff we've been a lot less. It really depends on the genre of music really, and how much musicality is happening in the tune. But yeah, this is quite a big project. And then obviously the main, one of the most important things in the song is the vocal. So as I said before, this is a Donald Jones vocal. I'll play actually the original. So yeah, wicked vocal. For the most part, we were working to a ripped vocal. It wasn't the best rip. So when we are looking to release or trying to get it released, the label was like, we can't use that vocal, it needs to be better, and then it might be a bit of a headache to clear the master. And the master is like the actual vocal that's on the actual track, and obviously there is a cost as well when you want to clear as well. So the simplest way is to re-record. So the vocal being a very important part of this song, we just want to get anybody to sing it, we want someone to kind of faithfully re-record it. And so when people hear it, they don't go, oh, it sounds a bit different, or do you know what I mean? We want it to sound exactly like the recording.
Which ain't easy.
Which is very difficult, especially when you do vocals. It's easier when you're replaying.
And also as well with this, because I was blown away when I heard this, because I obviously know the original, and then when I heard this a cappella. And the thing is as well with this, it's not just one section, it's like nearly 3 minutes of vocal and layered harmonies and stuff.
It's the whole song.
How did you attack that then?
Yeah, so first and foremost, it was like, there are replay companies that are out there that you can go and pay them, and they will re-record.
Which we both used.
We've used before,
and sometimes that is really helpful as well, because sometimes when you're really close to the tune, and it's just like to try and redo that sample yourself. Yeah. It's sometimes better to just pay someone to kind of read it, and then you slot that back in.
Sometimes it doesn't come back the way.
No.
You know, because we've used it quite a few times, and I've had some good experiences and some not so good ones where it's like, it doesn't sound as authentic as the original. So with this one, before we attempted to speak with a replay company, I was like, we must be able to know someone. In all our years of making music, we must be able to know a male vocalist who could really nail this. And fortunately, we did. So I'm not sure if anybody remembers. There's an artist called Louis Essian. He has a couple big tunes like back in the mid 2000s, top 10s and stuff. And we'd been working with him, and I was like, he has the best range for this and the right vocal tone. And we played him. He's like, I know this tune. I've actually met Donald Jones. I think Louis was actually he's been performing since he was a kid. And I think when Donald Jones was actually out, I think it was a CD UK. Do you remember? Anybody remember CD UK? He met him on CD UK and performed the song to him, just like in the corridor type of thing. That's what he told me. So I was like, all right. So he goes, yeah, I can nail this. So I was like, all right, sick. But I was like, the most important thing is that we know. We have all the harmonies, and we know what we're doing in the studio. We're not just trying to sing off what we think it is. We need to know exactly what it is. And there's some intricate harmonies in the chorus and the bridge, which we wanted to nail. Fortunately, my brother is a vocal genius. He does 6-part harmonies, 7-part harmonies. I sent him the song, and he was like, oh, yeah, the harmonies are doing this. So he demoed it just to tell me, so I could hear what the harmonies were. And then we went in the studio with Louis, and we attempted to do the vocal. So I've got that session up. It was fun. I like doing these type of things because it was like, can I do it?
Also as well, it's a day to record it, but then there's like 2 weeks of processing it to make it sound the same.
Yeah, so this is the session, and so because we wanted to be exactly the same, we didn't record. He never even heard the D&B version. We got the instrumental, like the original instrumental. We recorded it like we were recording like we were recording the original. So we recorded it in the same arrangement as the original, everything, same tempo. So and we went bit by bit, like recording like verses, like 4 bars, like 8 times, and then just comping, and then we would listen back, and then we would only move on to a next bit once we felt that we had enough good takes. So yeah, this is the original session, the vocal session.
Ooh, ooh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Whoa, 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 yeah. Listen, baby, up in the place, I see you getting down. Can I pull a catch? You got a crowd around you. Now you're the baddest thing I've seen tonight. So come on, girl, let's put it in flight. I got the V12600 sitting outside of the door. So bring it on. By the way, your body's playful, and that's a little something that a brother craves for. Yeah.
So that's, you can hear his verse, and then I think I had this is the Donald Jones rip.
Yeah, listen, baby. Up in the place, I see you getting down. Can't help but look at you, got a crowd around you. Now you're the baddest thing I've seen tonight. So come on, girl, let's put it in flight.
What mic did you use to record?
So we used Neumann TL103, like a bog standard, like everybody uses that Neumann. There's that or the U87. a holy grail of vocal mics. And yeah,
Use a mic pre or anything on that?
I think that day we weren't. We were just going straight into.
Oh, wow, it sounds really warm and nice.
Yeah, we were going straight into. I think it was like a SSL. You know the SSL sound cards. So yeah, it was just getting the right takes. So that was the verse. So it was literally lead, and then we did 3 stabs. I called them stabs, just supporting the verse, the lead, and we panned them left, right, and then I have one sent up really low. And then chorus-wise, this is where the work. So I had we've got him here. Did about 6, 1, 2, loads of different layers, and then so we've got like a strong layer here.
3:15, girl, what's it gonna be?
And then we would layer that with a softer one, I believe it was.
3:15, girl, what's it gonna be?
Like slightly softer, and then I think this is
3:15.
yes, that one, yeah, like soft, hard. So 2 left, right, always left and right, and then the reply 3:15, girl, what's it gonna be?
Shorty got eyes on me. We've been talking since 2, girl, what you gonna do? Tell them that you're riding with me. It's 3:15, girl, what's it gonna be? Shorty got eyes on me. You've been from.
Here's the harmony in there. So the harmonies were really close. They're not really like far away where you can go, oh yeah, there's a harmony there, and then they're like really into. They're just like doing this. It's just weird.
Shorty got eyes on me.
So my brother really helped with that, so we could figure out what they were doing. So
Shorty got eyes on me.
another harmony.
Shorty got eyes on me.
And I'm running these into different buses. So I've got.
How long did this take you? That's what
This was a whole day, and so everything like auto tune on everything, but very softly. Back in the times there, like nowadays, the vocal sound in like pop, R&B, most music, they use the auto-tune, and you can hear the auto-tune on the vocal. Whereas back in the 90s, they were using auto-tune, but it was it was just to fix things. You weren't supposed to hear it. So it was like we just used it softly.
There's such a big difference between vocals 20 years ago to now. It's like, this is ultra layered. Now a vocal is just all about one strong lead, isn't it? And just treating that, you know. It's almost a lost art, right?
Right. So yeah, I use, some people hate this. It says CLA, but I use this in conjunction with EQs and compressions and stuff. But it's just like, usually in a recording session, it's easy, quick, whip it up, and you're moving. So yeah, different passes of the CLA for different harmonies. So bus 2, it's got the main vocals going through, then bus 2. Yeah, then bus 4, you've got some of these harmonies going through bus 4, and these low harmonies down here, bus 6. So just so I could individually treat them as a group, as a whole. And second verse.
Watching you move, I start to fantasize about the way I'm gonna put it on that ass tonight. So come on and ride shotgun. I got the bubbles, if you like it, we can pop some.
So you can see how many takes. There's 11 takes there. So imagine we were doing that just for the verses, and then we were doing loads of takes for the chorus. So we were in the studio for the whole day, essentially.
Do you find when you record it, you have to, this is me when I record vocals, you spend the day recording the vocals and then have to take a break from it before you start processing it and kind of timing it, because you almost need I find it hard to do that all in the same day.
This was just recording for one day, and then, I took a break for the following day or something, and then it was just organising it all, because right now it looks quite neat, but we hadn't fully comped it all. So we had all the takes, but it was like, okay, now we've got to go in and find exactly the right ones that we wanted to use. So then that was just a day of just finding all the right bits and bobs and parts that we wanted to use. And then it was then actually mixing it to get it to sound like the original. This session looks neat, but this isn't actually the final vocal session, because I had to speed all the vocals up because they were all recorded at the original tempo. So we didn't want to. Sometimes when you record at like faster tempos, the vocalist can't get off their vibrato bright because they're trying to compensate for the speed of the tune. So like a lot of the house tunes and stuff are recorded slower and then sped up, so you get the.
But also you want that kind of like you've done it faithfully to the original.
Yes, yeah.
And then when you speed it up and you have the kind of algorithm on that, it gets a nice kind of different flavour to it, you know.
Yeah, and we knew that if we recorded it faithfully like the original, when we speed it all up, it should just work. So we didn't really have any qualms with, oh no, what's it going to sound like at 174? Because 80 double, that's 160, so we would have sped up by 14. But yeah, it worked fine.
Also, as well, there's a nice feel because you bounce just all of these, however many tracks, 60 tracks, just down to stereo.
Yeah,
a cappella. There's something so nice about
taking
clean. That back into the project and then not worry. You know, you're almost just committing to it. Then you know.
Yeah. So that was essentially the vocals, and then dropped it back into some buses changed. So you got a mixing again, like more stuff. I love this CLA stuff. I think it's really easy and simple to use. Who uses CLA? Yeah. Essentially, sped it up. So this is at 87 now, and then you can hear.
Watching you move, I start to fantasize about the way I'm gonna put it on that ass tonight. So come on and ride shotgun. I got the bubbles, if you like it, we can pop some. I see me and you flossing in my coupe. Maybe we can peel back the roof and get it on. Did I say your body's blazeful? I like the little thing around your navel, baby. It's 3:15, girl, what's it gonna be?
And also, I just remembered now. So for the lead, we use different instances of auto-tune. So you can see on this one, there's two auto-tunes over here. This one's it's got the humanizer on, it's on medium, and then this one is on slow. And it just does a little bit more work when you have two. I used to use the old Ataris, which is on my main computer, which is the full-blown one, and you can do a lot more with it, but because I was working on this laptop and I've only got this like more condensed version, I had to do a couple more things. So that this has got one auto-tune, two, there's another verse here, that's one auto-tune, one. So yeah, it just changed. Reverb, originally we had loads of reverb on the vocal, on the ripped Donnell Jones vocal, just because the rip was bad and the reverb was covering up all the sins of the rip. So we naturally used a lot of reverb on the re-record. But then I remember towards the end when we were mixing, like finally mixing the tune, the vocal was just sitting on top of the track, and it just wasn't feel like it was all together. So we ended up scooping a lot of the bottoms out, reducing some of the reverb.
Do you also remember when we went to mastering?
Yeah, go on.
Because sometimes when you go to mastering, mastering's all about exciting certain frequencies and kind of just. We had to de-ess the vocal, didn't we? It was the vocal was coming out a bit harsh. Yeah. Post the mastering process, so kind of de-ess that.
And obviously in DMB, you've got a lot of hi-hats, a lot of bright top frequencies that usually in the productions that we have, where we don't really mess with, we've just maybe got a hi-hat, a couple things in that space, in that frequency range. So you might not have to de-ess the vocal so hard just because there's not much activity happening in that frequency range. But
also what's unique about this track as well is the vocal is the whole track. Song, yeah. That's quite unique. So it's especially more difficult. A lot of other drum and bass tracks, the vocal is maybe in the breakdown, and then it's not as paramount. But
So full vocal song. So the song we got mastered about 4 or 5 times passes, just because when you master something, it's like it's now showing this is what your mix is actually doing. And so it was like, all right, cool. Vocal needs to come down, subs could go up, and we're just making tweaks, sending loads of different pre-masters back and forth, and we finally got there. I think you went away, you had a tour to do, so you were like, we were hoping that the master would get done.
No, it worked out for the best.
Yeah, but it worked out.
When the master's right, the master's right. You definitely know when it's wrong. I mean, it's not unusual to go a few versions of the master.
Yeah, that's normal. Yeah. That's normal. I've had, even when in mixing, when I've had other people mix the songs, you get to a point where you're like begging, praying that the mix is coming back. You get like, oh man, this is the 8th pass, and it's like, it's not sounding how you want it, so you're just hoping. But yeah, fortunately, because we were mixing it, we kind of had more control. Mastering he does DMB as well.
Yeah, it was mastered by a guy called Newton NTM mastering, it's called. Yeah.
Yeah, so he had the sensibility of understanding, you know, what the song needs to be doing and, you know, where it's going to get played. So he had the sensibility of what to do. Because some masterers, you know, they might be great for pop music or for hip hop or whatever, but might not be good for other genres. So, so thank you guys.
Well, thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.